Hello and welcome back to Papa B's Old Time Repair and Restoration. I'm Mike, and today we're going to do a little bit of a shop update. I'm working on several different projects here in the shop. We'll also have a parts update on the DI, plus some other things that I'll show you. So thank you for watching and following along. Okay, we're gonna walk over here and we're gonna check out the 430. Many of you have seen this project on my channel, and we're moving along, but we're moving along slowly. I've got the brake assemblies off of both sides, and I've got the rock shaft assembly almost ready to come off. As I mentioned in a previous video, I'm going to swap out this entire rock shaft assembly for one that I've redone in the past year, and hopefully that may stop some of these oil leaks that are happening on the back of this tractor. I'll move you back over to the workbench and we'll show you what the brakes look like. Okay, back over toward the workbench. I apologize for the condition of my workbench. Like I say, I've got just several things going on. But here's kind of the condition that we had in the brakes on the 430. One side, the only side that worked, you can see the linings are still pretty good. These are the bonded linings on the brake disc, and they're both reasonably thick, but not so much on the other side. You can see that the linings had become delaminated off of the disc. It was just a rusty mess over in this side, and I didn't get a before picture of this expanding disc assembly, but the rust was just built up on both of these surfaces here, to the point that I actually had to take a cold chisel. My regular scraper wouldn't hardly touch it, but I took a cold chisel that had a hard point, and I didn't beat on it with a hammer, but I ended up just scraping on it real hard, and that wore the rust off, and actually they came out pretty good. These have been bead blasted, and this assembly, we've got the new springs in, we've got the new balls inside. We've bead blasted all with the linkage here, and this was the expanding disc that was in the side that was working. I've got it disassembled. The balls are out of it, but both sides of it are pretty decent. So, and inside the brake housing, this was the one that was so rusty and built up on the surface on the brake housing, but got that cleaned up pretty well. We've got our stack of new parts from Steiner, as you can tell, and we've got a complete set of brake discs, we've got oil seals, we've got springs, and we've got new balls. So we're going to get that back together here just pretty quick and get that project moving along. As you can see here, I've got the remote hydraulic assembly off of the 430 there. I still need to go through that, and we'll shoot more video on that when I get further along. Okay, moving further along down the shop, we're still actively working on the 38 AR project. I'm pretty well finished mechanically up through the governor. We've had both crankcases apart. We're cleaned out, we're resealed. Need to do some cleanup work up here toward the front. And I've been taking some advantage of the weather, and I have been getting some parts primered for that. You can see we've got miscellaneous stuff, brake housings, crankcase vents, seat parts there, and we've also got some parts here, linkages, seat springs, steering, whatever. So that's ongoing as well. We've got a little LA tractor here that the engine is seized on, and we're going to do an engine swap on this one. Not really sure what year this tractor is, but we've got a donor engine. It's an LUC, LUS, certain variety of that engine, and it does roll over. And if we get a hot mag, we'll probably attempt to start it before we put it on there to make sure we're not swapping one problem for another. So we'll get to moving on that here in the next few days. And it's one of the tractors that I do need to get to going on. Last video was the walk around about the DI, and it's kind of amazing what you find on Marketplace these days. But I came up with a set of front spoke wheels for a D on Marketplace, and they've got brand new tires on them. So the wheels are not perfect, but they're sound, and they're going to need a little cosmetic work. But other than that, I think they're going to work just fine. I'm not really excited about the tires. I had something else in mind for the DI, but I think these will certainly help with getting the tractor off the trailer. And then once we get ready to clean the wheels up, I'm sure these tires here will be for sale. And then we'll find something more appropriate for the DI. So making a little progress as well on the DI front. I mentioned the rock shaft assembly on the 430, and we were finally able to get the weather to cooperate with us, and we did get some paint on it, and it looks okay. My wife says that it's going to stick out like a sore thumb when we put this on that tractor, and I would tend to have to agree with her. But it was bare cased, and it was totally devoid of paint, and I thought some paint would certainly be better than none, so we went ahead and got it sprayed. So we'll eventually, after we get the brakes put on this tractor, we're gonna get to swapping the rock shaft assembly out, get this tractor cleaned up, and we're gonna put it back to work. It's my go-to tractor for anything around my property here. I've owned this tractor now for probably at least 30 years. I really like it. It starts well, doesn't use any oil to speak of, doesn't use any water to speak of. It's just an overall fun tractor to have. But I would someday like to go through this transmission and make sure it's 100% before we go to the trouble of taking the tractor down and getting it sprayed. But as you can see by some of my previous videos, I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and I sure want to get that DI in this shop and get started on that. So the 430 is just going to have to wait his turn to get freshened up. Well, that's about it for this short video, just kind of bringing everybody up to date with what I've got going on in the shop. I thought you would enjoy that we were able to come up with some parts for the DI, and if I can get a few of these tractors completed, moved out of the shop, then we'll be ready to try to get that DI off the trailer and get it back here and see what we find with it. So I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks a lot for all your comments. Thanks for your viewing. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I sure do appreciate all of the people that take their time to follow along on our journey here. So we'll see you later.